Okay, let's get started. So my name is Greg Houston. I'm part of the solutions team here at Relativity, and I'm joined by...
Hi, everyone. My name is Tony Velikova. I'm the product manager for Transcripts as well as Case Dynamics.
Thank you, Tony. So today we're going to talk about transcripts, specifically clip creation, but that doesn't take a lot of time, so we're going to kind of fill it in with a little bit of kind of the outlines of video transcripts and how to load them, things to consider with transcripts, and we'll kind of have questions and sessions back and forth. So today we're going to talk through evolution of transcripts, how they started, where we went from things. We're going to actually load some transcripts in. So we'll do some work in Relativity itself and actually load the data. And we will talk about, lastly, clipping and then exporting the clips out. And then we have a question and answer section. And we have a lot of time today, probably, because this isn't a lot of content. So by all means, hopefully you all have some questions. And I can see people are typing in stuff already, so that'll be good. So transcripts was introduced in 9.5, this new transcripts. And Tony, can you talk about what prompted, and we've had transcripts supposedly in Relativity for a while. There was like a way you could kind of bring transcripts in, but it didn't really have great reporting. It didn't have a really full functionality of what typical transcripts tools do. So can you talk through kind of how that came to be in 9.5 and kind of maybe the evolution of how transcripts kind of has progressed?
Absolutely. So in talking to clients, we found that transcripts are a critical piece to developing a case strategy. Therefore, we decided to build a robust transcripts application and integrate it with Case Dynamics so that your case strategy work can be consolidated.
Okay, thanks. So with that, in 9.6, videos were first supported. I think they kind of went with the viewer as well. The viewer handled transcripts or handled video better. So then we added that to the transcript tool as well. So that came out. And then most recently, the introduction of clip creation, because now you hear everybody wants to push the stuff to Trial Director. And so it was the idea of creating clips in Relativity and from the transcripts and the excerpts. And we'll kind of walk through that functionality in more detail in just a moment. So I know initially there were limited file types that were supported, and over the course of time, file types were added. Is that going to continue? Are there going to be more file types added over time, or what do you see as the next type of files?
Yeah, absolutely. As we talk to clients and we find that they receive transcripts in different formats, we're looking to support more and more formats so that it's easier for clients to work with the files that they receive from court reporters.
So with regards to breaking down the different file types here, so LEF is probably the biggest one that you see with like as a package. So that brings in the exhibits and video as well.
Absolutely, yes.
And what was the other one you said that brings in video?
XMEF.
XMEF, okay. And I know you can put timestamping in the other types to bring video in, but it's a more manual process. And we'll actually walk through it. We have an example PTF file today that we'll walk through how you can bring video in. We'll kind of open that up and you can look at that. So the big ones for video transcripts are LEF, which is for exhibits as well. And then does the XMEF bring in exhibits as well, or is that just the video in a transcript?
Yeah, I think you can bring in exhibits as well.
Okay. And then, of course, then with regards to the MP4 type, that is just the video. So that's not a transcript file, just a side note there. So the idea with the MP4 is that the type of video currently supported. MP4, I think, is important to point out. I know that's not what all the older transcripts were, but the key with that is that being that we're a web tool and it's pushing the video over the web, MP4 is the best solution for web browsing and videos.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter on the browser than, for example, MPEG, which is a little bit of an outdated format.
Yeah, so hopefully, I know there's a lot of people that have old transcripts, and bringing those over is something that's of interest. But the key here is we're trying to be very light on the browser, so therefore it requires the MP4 file. Anything else to add on that?
So we just got a question online about transcripts that come in a PTZ format. That is something that we've investigated. We're having a little bit of a hard time understanding how to decrypt the file because it's a binary encrypted file, but we are trying to investigate how to read the file and so that we can upload it into Relativity.
And then we'll be adding PTX, so we have a question on that as well. Is that something?
It's very similar to the PTZ file. Okay. So we're looking for more examples, and we're trying to figure out where we can get the information about how this file is formatted so that we can work with it and read it easily.
And then the other thing is with regards to, right now it's just one video file. So if you have multiple video files, you'll need to combine those into one file for the loading into the transcript viewer.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we have received a number of requests to support multiple video types. And so we're working to understand how to make that work.
Okay. Great. Okay, so, this image is kind of a little rough to see, but when we load transcripts into Relativity, look at the right-hand side here is the actual text. So begin, head, type, PTF. Can you talk about like what is necessary for a file? Because I have to say, I tried to trick the system recently with a Word document, because what I was wanting to do is that Word index. I thought, okay, if I could trick the system into thinking that this Word document was a transcript file, I could get a Word index for it. Now, what was I doing wrong? What kind of things do I need in order to make that file be visible as a transcript?
Yeah, so transcript files, they differ from standard documents in that they have specific properties which we look for, such as header, type information, and other properties which we use to identify that this file is a transcript. Therefore, we can upload it in our transcript process.
And so this is an example here. This is the text of a transcript that we are going to load here in just a moment. This is the sample one. So we've got line numbers and then the line timestamps, and that's the key piece here that connects the video and the text of the transcript.
Yes, absolutely. So these line timestamps, they tell us at a specific line when we should highlight it in blue as the video is going along. So for example, at minute 1, maybe our line timestamps will say play the text on page 1, line 1.
We have a question about offline transcript use. I don't know if we want to. I don't really know if there's any plans for offline transcripts at some point.
We don't have any plans, but we welcome all feedback. And if you have suggestions on how you'd like to work with that, please submit requests to your CSMs or to the product team.
So once we actually get the transcript in, we've selected some highlights. We've got the option for clip creation. And this is just the page here for clip creation. So you can see, you can choose, you can edit page and line numbers. The goal is that really you just highlight the text and you create a clip. But obviously there's times that the sync is off a little bit, or maybe you just want to refine if two words are really close to each other. So you have the ability to change. So you can change the start time, the end time, the page, the line number, all of that to kind of refine the clip. Is that accurate? And then just save that out?
Yeah, absolutely. So here on the screen, you have a variety of ways where you can adjust the video. You can move the green and red bracket to expand or reduce the video time. You're welcome to manually enter numbers in the page and line sections. You have these question buttons, so you can easily add in the next question or include the answer if you didn't highlight it. And then you can also manually enter specific times in the start and end time fields.
Okay, thanks, Tony. So I'm going to go ahead and actually drag over a Relativity. So this is a new case, kind of base level case, so we don't have a bunch of extra stuff in here, so it's easy to see what we're concentrating on, just the transcript piece. And I want to walk through actually adding the transcript with the video file that we have from a PTF. So we've added the transcript tool. If you come in here, you can see on the right hand side we've got the transcripts tool. If we want to add the transcript, we'll come over here to, we'll stay in the document tab actually and go to new transcript. And once we go into new transcript, we'll choose our file. I'll go to downloads folder and I'm going to choose the PTF. Been synced, and that's the file that you saw actually in this slide earlier. We've got the text of that initially, so we've got the page and line numbers and the times and everything. So we chose the deponent name actually came in automatically for us based on what was in the transcript file. If we wanted to, though, we could actually change this to something else. So sometimes it's important to have like the date in the name. So if you wanted to sort, we could do, I don't know what the date of this one was actually, of September. Let me go back. 09, 05, and then Wolf Maxine. So that's how I used to do it back in the day at the law firm. And then upload files. So why would we want to upload files? We've already chosen the PTF. We're going to now choose the video, or we can choose deposition. Does it matter exhibits or video first? Or
No, you're welcome to choose either file.
Okay, so I'm going to choose the video file, which is here we go, MP4, and open. And then as soon as I choose this and it's completed, I think it's going to give me another choose file option. So give that a second. We've also got information down here at the bottom that we can type in or we can work with as well. So this is like a character witness, let's say. We've got our deposition date automatically populated because of pro above. This is a final. This is a deposition. We could fill in as much of this information as we want. You can actually change this card too and customize it to your own needs. So if in your firm you never want to worry about the taking or defending attorney, you could go ahead and just get rid of those off the layout. Do you know the layout's name by chance?
Yeah, it's called the Transcripts import layout, and there you can customize whatever fields you'd like to see filled out during the upload.
Okay. And so now we have another option to choose file again. So I'm going to go in and actually choose exhibits. So we've got an exhibit, open. That's pretty quick. And then I can do another exhibit. And how many of these can I do? How many exhibits can I manually load?
So the amount of exhibits you can load is based on an instance setting. And then you see here in the upload window, it's set to 100 files at this moment. When we roll out with the instance setting set to 20, but you're welcome to change it. One quick note is obviously as you increase the number of files, the upload will take a little bit longer.
So I've got the video selected. I've got exhibits, PDFs selected here as well. I filled in some information down below. I'm going to leave the starting line alone. And I think at this point, I can just go ahead and upload. Okay, so it's bringing in the transcript now. So at this point, I can go ahead and once the transcript's in, I can start reviewing it, making any kind of annotations to it. I can start making clips. Full access at this point. There's nothing else I need to do. But there is one little piece of the puzzle that we did not complete, I believe. So here you can see the exhibits are their own files. We don't have a separate file for the video, right? It's just synced and it's just part of the transcript itself.
Correct.
So one thing else to note is I do have the transcript icon there. I've got a little play button and video so you can see that. And then that button is down here in the lower left corner. We've got transcripts video. So it's this little transcript icon with a little TV and a play. And that opens up the transcript window. And as the video plays, it's actually going to track through the text. So I'm going to jump ahead here a little bit so that we can. And you can't hear it probably at home or in your office, but we can hear the text actually playing with the transcript.
So, yeah, as the words are being said, the blue highlight allows you to easily follow along.
Okay, so let me stop this for just a second. And one of the other things to point out is the exhibit. So we had a PTF which did not have exhibits synced. But there's a handy little thing that you can do here. Usually the exhibits are mentioned on the first page. I'm going to go ahead and highlight exhibit 1, right click, and I'm going to link the exhibit all occurrences and select my PDF over here. Now, if you have documents loaded in your workspace, you're going to have all your documents listed here, and you'll have to filter that, but it's real easy here with nothing loaded. So that links exhibit 1 and all occurrences where it references exhibit 1. I can do exhibit 2 as well. And I think this is handy from a standpoint of, so if I'm manually linking exhibits, and that makes sense. But let's say that I wanted to reference like the employee handbook or some other document that I had loaded. Is it possible to go ahead and link all occurrences? So every time they said employee handbook and they referenced it in a deposition, I could link to that?
Yes, you can. We'll find every occurrence of that word mentioned in the transcript, and we'll create this hyperlink.
And that's really handy. I think that'd be very beneficial in things outside of just exhibits. So now we've got the linked exhibit. If I click on that, it pops open another window. Here's the exhibit, some email that was created to reference during the video, the transcript. So I'm going to jump down here. Let's find some good juicy stuff, and let's go ahead and create some excerpts. Got some So if I highlight a block of text, I right click, I have the ability to add notes in relativity. I could go ahead and create a designation. So let's go ahead and make a designation type. Tips. And I'll make that red, designation. And you'll see that it gets highlighted on the side here. I can scroll down. Maybe there's another designation that's important here. And I'll add a designation type. Let's say defendants.
And something recently that we added is we've expanded the color options. You can also select up to 2 colors to even expand it further, because this was a frequently encountered request from clients, because we've learned that the list of designations can grow quite large. So this is one way we've supported that workflow.
So you can just see the overlap between the 2 designations here. So the other thing that we have now is the ability to create clips. And right click, we can create a video clip, and that opens up a new window where our clip creation occurs. And I see there's lots of questions coming in, so we'll actually get to those in just a second here. We'll talk through some of this, and then we'll go back and try to answer some of those questions. So we've got our, once again, you said the red and blue. We can drag that over if we wanted to. That's a lot. Let's pull that back a little bit. We can go ahead and change. Can you just manually edit that?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can type in a specific line. And then if we minimize the video player, you can actually see that we gray out the parts that are not included in the video, so that you can easily see what text is associated with the portion of the video transcript.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, and as Greg is changing things, you'll notice that all the fields are dynamic. So the brackets move, the time moves. So whatever you change in one area will automatically change everywhere, so that everything remains synchronized.
So now that I've created that, if I want to save this out as a clip, I just up at the top here hit Save Video Clip. And now I've got a clip created.
Yep. And there you can see the clip location, meaning the page and line numbers. You have the start time. And then if you scroll all the way to the right, you'll see the total time. And then as you select, as you see on the bottom where Greg was just pointing, we also include the total time. So when you have a full list of videos, maybe you have 10 videos, as you continue to select them, we'll show you the selected time, because we've learned that for trial, you have limited amount of time for how much the duration of the videos can be.
Yeah, that's handy. So it just added to that.
Yeah, so now if you select one of the checkboxes, you see that we have the selected time out of the total time.
Oh, very nice. Great. And if I click New Video Clip, that just takes me back to the clip creator.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really drop me in anywhere. So if you want to do that. Now, if we have a bunch of designations, you said we can create clips from those as well?
Yeah, so actually, if we just jump into the transcript really quickly.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
No worries. So if we scroll down to one of the designations, so this is a workflow
Actually,
where...
Let me change this to transcripts layout so we see the transcripts, and we'll jump to designation. Okay.
Yeah, so here sometimes maybe you'll get a message where, hey, I want this designation or this part of the transcript to become a video clip. So now you can right click on the designation and you'll see the create video clip option appear. So that's a quick way you can create a video without having to highlight or, be very precise as to what to include.
Okay, great. Very nice.
And then one of the questions, since we're close to this layout, if we cancel out and show the transcripts layout, there was a question about the import layout. So if we open up the dropdown, you'll see that the transcript import layout is here. And then if you select the little pencil icon, this is where you can modify what fields you'd like to see during the upload. So here you can remove or add fields. That way you can customize your upload process. We also got a question, since we're working with designations right now, if you can bulk upload designations. And yes, you can actually upload them through the front end by going to the designations tab. There's an upload button there. And you just need to include your designations in a CSV file. And then we've done work on our end to make it smart so that if your columns are named with the fields what we look for, we easily match them up so that you have less work to do on your end.
So how do the color overlaps look when printing? Question we got.
So we were able to, just like how you see it in the transcript, we'll draw the brackets side by side when you print.
Let's choose this one.
So if we actually go into the transcript, we can print from within the viewer.
How does it do the report? We'll go to that. And just...
Yeah, absolutely. And so from this window, you have the designations tab. And here you can select which designations you'd like to print.
Let's just do them all.
And then you can say print transcript. And then if we scroll down to the page where we see our designations.
No. I didn't really pay attention to where we did. There we are.
Yeah. Okay. And here we have designations that sort of overlap.
We also have the ability to do, so if you have multiple transcripts and you want to do a report across the transcripts, there is now an option as well down here to do a transcript reports mass operation, where you can do annotation digest based upon, so if I wanted to choose designations, I could do a report on all my designations or my notes, or you can do key terms. So if you wanted to do, you put in as many, does this work off of the DT search index or keyword?
I think it's keyword. Yeah, and here, this is a great way for if you have numerous transcripts and you want to find transcripts that have specific terms, this is the report you can use to identify those transcripts.
And of course, you're going to add additional lines above or below, include entire question and answer section. So all the typical transcript functions are available, and you can work with those. Anything with the annotations digest that's important to note, I don't know. You can see all of your different exhibit references. So notice that we just did the one reference to the exhibit, and you can see here all the different references to those. So that's kind of cool. That's really neat. If we had URLs or notes, we could show those as well. So let's see if there's some more questions here. Will that printed PDF have links to exhibits? So from the report, are there links to exhibits? I don't think so. No, that's not something that's available currently. So with regards to exporting out the clips, what we create currently is, so let's say we have all the video clips here. It's not on this page, is it?
Yeah, so a quick way you can access this is by opening up the video player, and then here you have a link to all of your video clips.
So we open up the video clips page.
Yeah, so then from here you can select, let's select all of them, and then you can export them.
Okay. And so the CSV or CCS for trial director, you can take that, then creates a list.
Yeah, so the CCS file stands for a clip creation script, which is used by a trial director. So you'll take this export, you upload your video to trial director along with your CSM file, and then this clip creation script will tell trial director, hey, of my video, clip it at these points so that you can quickly create the video clips. And then you can start to prepare for trial. And from this window, other things that you can do is when you have a long list of video clips, you can actually click on them, you can preview them on the right-hand side, and then you can also drag and drop them to rearrange the order. And you're also able to remove videos if you selected one too many.
Can you talk about do you happen to know when the upload designations button, what version that came in?
I can double check that.
Go ahead and turn this video off. Okay. So the control number is actually, you can dictate that when you import the transcript. We default to the name, or
this is what you specified when you selected
so when
override what the file is called.
We're actually loading the transcript, and you have two options for that. It can be the file name, or you could actually customize it to wherever you want it to be. So if you did want to make it just some number that followed other numbers, you could do that, but you'd have to manually put that in. It's not automated for you.
And then just to follow up on the question for the ability to upload designations, that was provided in Relativity 10.0.
We have a good question here about mass loading. So we can use the RDC as well to upload transcripts. Can you talk through maybe what's required?
Yeah, you need to create a DAF file so that you can use it to upload through the RDC. And on our documentation site, we have sort of an example, but you're also welcome to reach out to our solutions team or to us with questions.
And so it's really just like a basic load file. But does that link, do you have the ability to link the exhibits when you do that?
Yeah, so it depends if you're providing an LEF file where the exhibit links are pre-made, then we'll respect those.
And some of that comes from whatever you're coming from. So if you're exporting out of another tool, really it depends on what they are able to export. But the key would be to get the transcript file types as close as possible, and then PDFs of the exhibits.
And then with regards to video clips, there was a question whether CCS is the only option. The other option right now is CSV. However, in the future, we are going to explore the option of creating video clips in MP4 format so that then you can take it and put it in your PowerPoint or in some other tool. We've learned that the MP4 format is something that other tools can handle well. So we're trying to investigate how to build support for that.
We have a question about printing a condensed version or mini scripts. Yes, you do have the 4-up option in the print view. I think it's here. If we come in and we click here, we have right here is the button to click 4-up. So definitely a feature that we knew was needed. And I think the key thing with all this is that this is still developing. So we're still learning, I think, from clients what they want. And
absolutely. And we're trying to iterate as quickly as we can. Some of the things that are coming up is we've received numerous requests to extend how we draw designations. So right now, for some clients, the brackets are working well, but then there are other clients that find themselves, they have to print transcripts and they then have to manually highlight things. So that is, we're going to try to expand how we do highlights. We're going to work on building APIs so that transcripts can, we can extend custom development on transcripts and also provide it on mobile.
So the latest question is, can we print the word index? I know we have the word index here. Is there an easy way to print that? I don't really think so offhand. Yeah, that's a good one. Interesting.
Yeah, that is a request we received, and we've taken that feedback. Please, if you have more information about like what workload this supports, we've heard that when transcripts are printed, some people would like to see the full word index included in the transcript. So if that's how you'd like to work it, please let us know so that we understand how to print the word index.
I see that there was somebody had questions or issues with uploading a LAF. But if you have issues with particular file types, I'd encourage you to reach out to support. We'd like to learn maybe why and try to understand what's going on. And if we see issues, definitely, something we want to be aware of.
Yeah, and at a high level, I'm not sure what this particular file looked like. So with LEF files, it's important that they have specific information at sort of like headers for us to identify them as LEF files. Otherwise, they'll be treated as zip files. And then the other thing that's important for maintaining the exhibit links, in LEF files, you have a file called, with an extension EXE, I believe. And that is what tells us, hey, for exhibit 1, link it to this particular file. So that's something that we can look into whether like that file is created correctly, because that's what we rely on to tell us that exhibit 1 should be linked to, for example, the first exhibit file.
And another question that came in is, can we add a video later at a later point? Yes, I actually did that earlier, my mistake.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you have to upload them together. Greg, when he uploaded it, he had the PTF file and then he uploaded the video along with it in the same upload process. But we are trying to investigate other ways to expand. We understand that videos come a little bit later, so we're going to try to understand how we can provide that. how can we increase the number of files uploaded? So this is based on an instance setting. It's called like simple file upload, I believe, something on the back end, where if you just go to your instance settings, you can increase that to a different number, and that specific name for the instance setting is listed in our documentation, so you can easily find it there.
And then just another question about versions. Most of this is for 10.2. Transcripts came in 9. I put it at the first like 9.4, 9.5. But then the later stuff with the clips and the designation upload, that was all in the later versions, like in 10. So yeah. Okay, well, the questions are slowing down. I know that we might have missed some, but we got most of them. I think that we've hit all of our topics today.
There's another question. Can we update the draft transcript with the final? At the moment, you're not able to, but we have received this request. If you have examples of how that looks, please, just to give you some context as to how we work, we really need example files in order for us to build the algorithms that are able to read these files and to understand how to then incorporate them within relativity. With these draft files, we'll have to learn how to, if lines are changed or text, how we can kind of match up things or correct them. So if you have examples, please share them with us.
And then last, MDB file sync, does that work?
No, at the moment we rely on line timestamps. However, we are looking to expand our video syncing so that we can support the exports coming out of Timecoder Pro, which is what we've learned is a tool that is commonly used by most core reporters. So that's how we're looking to expand video syncing support.
So just real quick with regards to export of transcripts, if you do have, these are basically standard documents in relativity at this point, so you will see them on the main documents page. However, just a side note, the transcripts folder is created whenever you install. So if you have your folders here created based upon custodians, or you have them created based upon like how data was processed, whatever, realize that when you install the transcripts tool, transcript folder will be created for each custodian, or I don't know, you really call it custodians at this point, the deponents or whatever transcripts group come in. We're going to create a new folder, top level folder for that as well. And then a transcript and an exhibits folder if you have exhibits. If you don't have exhibits, it'll just be the transcript folder. So that is kind of how you dive down to this. But one of the things that I think is useful from a workflow standpoint is to add a new view to your workspace that is like a transcript view. So I have not created one here actually.
But we actually, when we install the application, so this is a quick way for you to filter. So yeah, we're trying to help when you install that. We make a couple of things easy for you, but as Greg mentioned, you're welcome to create custom views and build upon what we kind of roll out with.
And another question, when you import the transcript through relativity, does it automatically OCR file? So it will not OCR file because it's a text file to start with. We do require that they be text files for importing. And so it would have the text, and there shouldn't be any OCR, And for the exhibits, that would be a different situation. You might have to do that for the exhibits. You might have to create images and OCR exhibits if you want to search the text of the exhibits. But for the transcript itself, it would just be, it's a text file, so it's searchable already. Okay.
There was also a question about the link all occurrences when you're trying to link exhibits. So at the moment, we look for the particular term. We don't have anything sort of like a wild card where if the exhibit 1 is listed as exhibit 1 number 1, we're only going to find the parts where it says exhibit 1 explicitly what you highlighted.
Are there plans to allow multiple video files per transcript?
Yes, we're investigating how to do that. We've worked with some clients to get some example files, and we're in the process of learning how we can read those files and make them work within relativity. There was also a question earlier on, are you able to export all annotations, designations, video clips, and then re-import them? At the moment, all that you can upload is designations. However, we are cognizant that we'd like to re-import notes, video clips, and other things. So we're going to try to expand what you can re-upload and export within transcripts.
Okay, well, thanks, Tony. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to share with us this information. And I actually learned a few things myself today.
Excellent. So. It was a pleasure. And thank you so much for all of the questions. If you have anything that you'd like to see in the future or have ideas on how to improve any workflows, or you see that we're missing support for specific workflows, please, we welcome all feedback, and we're really trying to iterate and make the application more robust.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.